Hello everybody, what I have for you today is from Razer. This is the Kishi. Its successor, the Kishi V2, was recently announced, so the original can be found for around $50 instead of the $80 that it MSRPs for. At that price, this novel little Android controller is now on my radar, so I'm going to review it. And then I'm going to compare it to the GameSir G4 Pro, which was always a $50 Android controller. Has not fear, it does come with an instruction manual, although you probably won't need it, I surely did not, and stickers to boots. My experience thus far has been strictly plug and play. I have a tiny phone, the Samsung Galaxy S22 base. It's fairly simple to hook up once you get the hang of it. The V2 controller has a solid backplate and is stretchy. On the V1, you pull on the release latches here to free the retaining plate, and the rest just kind of falls apart, and it takes a little bit of practice to put the pin back in. My Galaxy S22 nestles into the cradle quite easily, but it can get picky, gotta rock it a bit sometimes to get it to notice that, hey, something foreign just got shoved up my USB-C port. Once connected, the phone gets turned on and the cursor responds to the control sticks. You can also tap a button to activate the phone. Let's start up some Witcher 3 via Steam Link because my emulators will get me demonetized. The controller itself doesn't feel comfortable. There's not much to rest your palms against. I guess it's good that it doesn't dig into anything, but it's certainly not ergonomic. The ideal grip is to support the back with your middle fingers. You can try to support it with your ring finger so you can double finger the shoulder buttons, but then the grip on the control sticks feels a little weird. Pretty much all of the buttons that matter, like the Zaby keys and D-pad, are mushy compared to an Xbox One controller. They're not terrible, I've definitely had worse, but I wish they would give me more feedback other than melting under my fingers. That being said, I haven't run into any performance issues. The control sticks feel very good, not great, they tend to drag your thumbs back to dead zone by themselves, but they're very clicky and that feels good. There's a glossy finish on the Zaby keys, D-pad, and all the shoulders. It won't be easy to keep clean and will wear and look ugly AF if not cleaned often. When gaming, the biggest pet peeve of mine are Zaby-intensive platformers. The right control stick is going to get in the way a lot. It's bad enough the buttons are mushy, now you have to deal with that too. Games that are more twin-sticky won't be a big issue, but retro games are gonna be annoying. The controller itself doesn't suck a noticeable amount of juice away from the phone, at least not much more than the games themselves. USB-C pass-through charging is a big plus, but it doesn't allow quick charging or USB headsets, it is strictly for regular power. It only connects through USB-C, there's no leaving the phone out and hooking up via Bluetooth, and it doesn't have a battery of any kind. It's dead in the water without a parasitic phone connection. That's enough about the Kishi itself. Now, what would I rather use? The Kishi or the GameSir G4 Pro? Since you're making me pick, you little I pick the G4 Pro. It's comfortable in the hands with a textured palm grip and all the peripherals are better. If you don't like using Bluetooth, which you shouldn't, you do have this dumb USB cord hanging out the back and it's noticeably heavier than the Kishi, but it feels so much better and is easier and more enjoyable to play with all around. Not to mention that larger phones, like the LG V60, actually work with the G4 Pro, and they work quite well. Don't count the Kishi out completely though. The G4 does have a battery in it, and it's always going to take more power out of your phone to charge when connected through USB, which is the only way you should be connected. The Kishi is also considerably smaller relative to the G4, but realistically they're going to be toted around in a laptop bag or backpack anyway, so there's nothing to fuss about. If there's a pocket that the Kishi fits in that the G4 cannot, you're probably going to look stupid anyway. The only reason you should pick the Kishi over the G4 is the USB charging pass-through. If portable gaming is life and keeping a charged phone is a must-have, you can't use the G4 Pro. With all this being said about the Razer Kishi V1, now I'm thinking that the V2 doesn't fix the underlying issues that make the GameSir G4 Pro a better experience. The V2 doesn't look any more comfortable, and the button layout hasn't changed. If the buttons feel better and give better feedback, it's still not worth the extra dough to buy the V2. Final thoughts on the Razer Kishi. It's a fun little thing, very novel. USB-C charging pass-through is the stupendous addition that really saves the day. I originally wrote this outro to dismiss it completely and say just buy the G4 Pro, and then I remembered, oh yeah, it does USB charging. And then this outro happened. And yes, I realize you can connect the G4 Pro with Bluetooth and charge your phone at the same time, but you're still using Bluetooth, and the latency really is that much of a For the bottom line, if you go places a lot and need to keep your phone charged, get a Kishi. If it's $50, worth it. Anything less, no brainer. If you want a better gaming experience, period, or have a larger phone, get the G4 Pro. This has been a review of the Razer Kishi V1 here on Thiege's YouTube. I'm your host, Joel Michael. If you didn't like this video, then maybe my latest gaming notebook review will be more entertaining. Watch that video instead of this one. Except this one is already at the end of the video, so go scrub your brain, then watch the notebook review. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and you guys, have a good night.